Hello, Carton, and hello to all my viewers. Today I'm going to interview a man from Russia, the country which is currently attacking Ukraine. First of all, hello, Carton, how are you?
I'm fine, and you made a mistake. This is not a war. This is a special operation.
Oh, okay, shit, sorry. It's not a war, it's a special military operation, yes. I will keep that in mind from now on. But first of all, I want to tell all my viewers that Carton is actually risking something to be on this interview with us because Russia is a very authoritarian country and they suppress free speech pretty badly. Were you saying something?
No, they usually oppress big media.
Oh, they use.
They usually oppress big media, not an India channel.
Like, okay, that's fine.
That have not much to say.
Oh wow! Now you're dissing us. Okay.
So no questions for me.
No, okay. Anyways, my first question. Obviously, this is an interview about which is focused on the war which is going on between Russia and Ukraine. Jokes aside, it is a war, and we know it. So my first question was related to free speech. As I said, Russia. Would you agree that Russia is a authoritarian country?
Of course.
Of course, yeah. So
the Putin is a kleptocratic and authoritarian.
Yeah, autocratic and authoritarian. Yes. So the first question was, can people of Russia speak freely about the war in like public? Now, obviously, in private you can talk to your friends and you can talk to your family members. But can in public, like, what do the police do if you talk about the war?
Just blocks your from broadcasting, for example.
They block you from broadcasting?
They blocked the channel called Rain.
Channel Rain?
TV channel that it's a TV channel that was oppositionary, and Echo of Moscow, oppositionary radio.
It was an opposition radio against Moscow, and it's blocked now.
Against Putin. Yes, they cannot broadcast in the radio.
So, could they like broadcast before the war happened?
Of course, like they worked from 1990 to 2022.
Oh, so they worked from 1990 to 2022, but after the war has started, even they have been banned completely.
Yes. Only YouTube channel left.
Only YouTube channel left. But I would assume even YouTube in Russia is like restricted or blocked?
Restricted or blocked? Oh, not so much.
Not so much, so like, you can still listen.
Yes. Even like Navalny had a YouTube channel and it's still here.
It's still here. By the way, the guy he's talking about is the main opposition to Putin, I think. And he's in jail, right?
Yes, he's in jail.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for opposing Putin, by the way. My supreme leader. Okay, second question, it's kind of related to this. Are there any anti-war protests or like demonstrations going on around you or maybe near you which you know about? In the Moscow. I am not in the Moscow, so I don't have protests. But like... inside the Moscow there were little protests. In Moscow they have lots of protests. And Petersburg there were protests. The police arrested around in Moscow and St. Petersburg there were protests. So but the police arrested 2 big cities, yes.
And police arrested around 6,000 people.
6,000 people. And is this information, like the data you're telling me, is from what website? Like what news?
Wikipedia?
From Wikipedia. Okay. So is this the correct number, or is the actual number bigger than this?
I think correct.
It's correct. Okay. So 6,000 people have been arrested already.
Yes.
And
mostly because the law on the protests. Like, you can protest only if you are approved by the government.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so you can protest against the government, but you have to take their permission first.
Yes.
No, that makes sense. What a democracy. Are these protesters, are they just being sent to prison, or is there like any harsher punishment they are being given by the government?
Like, in Russia there is no death penalty.
Yeah,
so
in Russia there's no.
The maximum is a month in prison, like.
A month in prison. Okay.
Maximum.
Maximum.
And you can be beaten up by the police.
Yeah, but that makes it much worse than just 1 month in prison. So they'll beat you for protesting, and then they'll take you to jail, and then they'll beat you again?
If you go to protests.
Okay. Okay, what is your personal view of the war? Like, do you support it? Are you against it?
Of course, anti-war, because the war is death of humans, destroying of houses, lives, PTSD.
Yeah. Especially
from both.
Yeah, go on.
Factions. Both factions will get the PTSD.
Yeah, both sides will get PTSD. They'll get war. They'll get like thousands of people dead.
And we fucked up Ukraine. Like, they armed civilians. So now in Ukraine there is a lot of guns just left to the population.
Yeah, which
imagine the crimes after this.
Yes.
And
yeah, that's actually
looting.
Yeah, the looting. There will be like a lot of like anarchy in Ukraine, even if the war ends, because now every person has a gun. And I heard that the president has decided to give guns to like criminals as well.
Yes.
Yeah, like,
as I know, it was true.
Yeah, that's true. That's so destructive. Like, after the war ends, this will just lead to so much killing and murder and so many crimes.
They were too scared by Russian attack. Like, imagine that army is at your capital city.
Yeah.
Your army is not so big. And then you create the first action. I'm the military.
Yeah, and they also have declared like martial law in Ukraine.
Martial law? Not just the martial law, but in Ukraine, since the day one, it is mobilizing.
Yeah, it has been like, it has been recruiting people into the army, and it is providing them training, so that's mobilization. And they're taking like fuel from normal people away so that they can use it for their war purposes.
Oh, don't know much about.
Don't know much about, okay, the resources. Are there any people who you know or you have heard of who are like pro, who support the war in Russia?
Who support the war?
Yes.
Usually elder people that were already propaganded.
I understand. So
like they are saying that all Ukrainians are Nazi scam, and so on.
Okay, and this is because of Putin and his propaganda.
Yes, and because of guys from Azov, Aidar, and something like this, like they are real Nazis.
Yeah, Azov,
and because of them, a lot of things that all Ukrainians are Nazis.
So Azov
but
battalion.
I think that
yeah, go on.
Azov battalion, yes.
Yeah, Azov battalion is like an actual paramilitary group of actual Nazis. So who
yes,
believe
it's a nationalistic.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a nationalistic paramilitary.
And they're actually fighting
that are on the front line
for Ukraine, right? Yeah.
Yes, they are all around the Donetsk front line.
Yeah, Donetsk is the area which was occupied by Russia.
Not occupied.
But
it was.
Well, it was occupied. Come on.
Yes, but technically it's another country that is
a puppet of
which
Russia.
No one puppet. Yes, yeah. Puppet states. Donetsk People's Republic and Luhansk People's Republic.
So the Nazis, there are actual Nazis, by the way, in Ukraine, but most of Ukrainian people, they are not Nazis. That we know for sure. We know for sure. And okay, this kind of ties into this. So what is the Russian media telling you? Like, how are they justifying the war on Ukraine?
Justifying the war?
Yes.
As I said, they're justifying the war through the denazification.
Yeah, denazification, which means like they're going to find Nazis and they're going to get rid of them.
Normally it would mean, but now like denazification through invasion, so we will create more Nazis.
Yes.
Great tactic.
Great tactic. Yes, you're just going against your motive, but that is just propaganda, right? They're not actually going to help Ukraine. They're not going to denazify. And
denazify.
I think there are actual Nazis in the Russian army as well.
In the Russian army,
like a few, like
I will say that some Russians are nationalists.
Okay, but they're not Nazis.
I think Nazis. No, someone will be known as Nazis for their ideas.
Oh, okay. So they call themselves nationalist, but their ideas can be seen as Nazism.
Something like this.
Some of it. So what other reasons is the media, which is like RT, Russia Times?
RT.
Like, what other reasons?
RT is not popular in Russia.
It's not popular.
So will not. No, it's not popular in Russia. It's for foreigners.
It's for
but for Russians we have like the. Yes, RT is for foreigners. Not Russians. Russians will watch the first channel, Russia 1, Russia 24, REN TV, NTV, and something like this.
And these news channels are pro-Putin, or are they like a mixed bag? Like there are pro-Putin and there are anti-Putin too?
No, they are all pro-Putin.
They're all pro-Putin. Oh wow. I don't think they allow those opposition in the media, right?
Yes, of course, because like they are
authoritarian.
Tied up with the state.
Yes, they are like funded by the government.
Funded. and there is a orders for the news programs like don't talk about the casualties in the war and something like this. So yes, we have got it. Like in early 2000s, there were a program called Dolls. It was a political satire, and they satired about corruption in Kremlin, so they were banned.
Wow. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that they even allowed such a program to like be presented to Russians.
It was allowed in 90s because in 90s we had a free press.
Oh, it was allowed in the 90s.
Real free press. Yes, it was allowed in 90s. But time of free press in 90s gone.
Okay, you were talking about that they have pro-Putin. No, the pro-Putin channels are given like instructions to not talk about certain things, right? Like
yes,
like casualties and how.
Yes.
So I have another question related to that. Like, what is the Russian media telling you? Like, how many people have died, and how is the war going for Russia?
If you believe our news, we are doing great. The Ukrainians are all capitulating on the nationalist fight and some shit like this.
Yeah, I understand. So it's just pure propaganda. They're not actually telling you that the Russian soldiers have low morale. Nothing real.
Nothing real.
So, but what have they told you about any data that this many people have died?
About people died? No. The media, official media, is not telling about any casualties.
They're not telling about any.
When the airport, any casualties? No. Yes, they claim a little casualties, but not much. And when we took a Hostomel airport,
the airport.
Russian news claimed, yes, airport near the Kiev. Russian news claimed the casualties 0 to 100. 0 Russians to 100 nationalists.
Oh wow!
And after you could believe them?
I don't believe them at all. I mean, 0 Russians. That's even for propaganda. That's like so too false. I can't believe that. Do people around you, like your friends and families, or your, let's say, your acquaintances, do they actually believe the Russian media?
The Russian media? No. Granddad believes, but other don't believe.
Okay,
and
so
we have anti-war, and most are anti-war because like no one wants to live in the crisis. No one wants to prices go skyrocketing. No one. We already had enough of this.
Yes.
8 years under sanctions. 8 years.
It's since 2014 to 2022 you're talking about, when Putin annexed Crimea from Ukraine, right?
Yes, they were made then the first sanctions.
And I think I remember talking to you before, and you told me that people support Putin because he brought like economic stability in Russia.
Yes, early years of Putin were pretty great. Yes, he banned some news, but still people just wanted to live normal.
Yeah.
90s crimes were okay. Even one of the biggest car productions, car factories was owned by crimes.
So factories were owned by like mafia bosses and etc. etc.
Yes, yes. And
But
people were tired of this.
and now they are tired of this.
Yes, they are tired of Putin. Like,
Yeah.
we have a 50-50 maybe support, but no, 60 to 40, I think. More
60
likely.
40% in favor of Putin.
In favor, yes.
So how are
and another.
go on.
Okay. And the reason why Putin succeed was that he technically won the Second Chechen War, and it's eating money of the people.
Chechnya.
Like, yes, we're supporting them, just not to let them declare another third Chechen War.
Yeah. Okay. Since we were talking about the USSR, we know about NATO, right? North Atlantic Treaty Organization, blah blah blah. But Putin and many Russian officials have said that NATO is to blame for the war because two reasons. First, NATO was made so as to prevent war with the USSR, and the USSR has been dissolved for like 30 years. And second reason is because NATO had promised that they will not allow Eastern European countries into NATO, but they have allowed it. So do you think that how much do you think is NATO or the USA to blame for the current war?
Not so much.
Not so much.
Like, yes, they sent some specialists, but Ukraine was not joining the NATO.
Yeah, I mean NATO, they didn't even allow them in NATO even after the war was declared. So
even after?
So you think that NATO is not to blame?
No.
No, okay. Because I've seen people who say that it was NATO's fault. Yeah, go ahead, even.
No, no. Yes, maybe they scared Russian officials, but they are not the primary in the justification of war.
Okay, so NATO is
the
not
main
primary.
Is not.
So okay, folks, even a Russian has said that NATO is not to blame. So please stop saying that USA or Joe Biden or NATO is to blame for the war. It is, and who do you think is to blame for the war, Carton? It's quite a tough question.
First of all, this conflict in 2014 can be described as the Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun.
It says if the gun was on the wall, it must shoot in the end. And it shot. And it was on the wall only because Minsk.
Because of
Minsk negotiations.
Okay, so it was signed in 2014.
Peace treaty. Yes, ceasefire.
So, but who would you say,
Ukraine,
like even the 2014 Crimea War or the annexation of Crimea, who do you think was responsible for that? Do you think it was Putin? Do you think that it was the Ukrainian government and they messed up or something?
Messed up. Like in 2014, the Ukraine was in chaos.
Yeah, they had.
And there were protests, pro-Russian protests in 2014. Pro-Russian protests again. As you see, we've lost any pro-Russian protests. I think there is no Ukrainians that are fully pro-Russian.
No, I don't think there are any actually. I mean, they're giving up their lives to fight them, so it's quite clear.
So if Russian military invaded in 2014, I think the war was short. If they started then.
The war would be short.
Yes, if we started in 2014, but we didn't. And some people even thought that maximum will be arming the militias in republics and or sending troops there. Not a full-scale invasion.
So most people thought that Russia would just send like their own, like they will fund terrorist groups and then send them to fight in Ukraine. Is that what you want to say?
Not a terrorist groups,
but like
fully independent republics.
Fully independent republics, yeah. Fully,
yes.
totally free.
Of course, in the maybe puppets of Moscow, but independent.
Yes, not
independent puppets.
Definitely not, a puppet government of Russia. They were free, completely free, democratic republics.
Democratic.
Even Russia is not democratic. Oh my god. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Obviously, I'm Indian, so I'm kind of biased with this. But how do Russians feel about India helping the Moscow government? The Moscow government to like evade the sanctions which were put on.
Evade sanctions. I think some people even don't know about India not supporting sanctions.
Oh, so Russian people don't actually know about it?
Don't know much about.
Don't know much about. Do you know about it?
Do you know? Yes, I like watch news, independent. But we got another blocked independent news media. Medusa. They were already a foreign agent, as but now they are fully blocked, and they were online media.
And they were
so only by Tor or VPN.
Oh, so you can still use VPN to get like the news, but for like normal population which does not use a VPN, everything is banned.
Not everything.
Oh, I mean the opposition news.
Opposition is getting banned.
Okay,
slowly.
So there are still some.
Yes, there are still some.
Okay, so we'll get a little personal with the questions now. Of course, the economic sanctions which have been put on Russia we have never seen such sanctions before. Like you cannot have any foreign currency and like all of that stuff, which is factual. So I'm not going to tell them right now, but it's going to hurt the Russian economy like a lot. So how are you preparing? How are you preparing, or maybe your families preparing when the effect of those sanctions
haven't seen anyone preparing. Not preparing, but like, oh no, the news says that IKEA is getting bad. No, is going from Russia, so we'll buy everything that we can.
Okay, so
and this is like this.
Okay, but as you said, the prices are going to like super like skyrocket, right?
No, not on the all, not all.
Not all
But
things,
for
but some.
electronics, yes, they will skyrocket.
And so,
And everything that imported will be even even more expensive.
so electronics will be, they were already expensive and now they will be like super expensive.
Yes, like the RAM prices grew from 7,000 rubles up to 15.
In how much time?
In how much? In several days.
In several days they like doubled. Wow.
Yes.
So that's going to hurt a lot. Like normal people are going to suffer a lot from the sanctions.
The people still could buy bread because it produced here.
Yeah, so you still have like food which is being
yes.
produced in Russia, so that will be safe. So the Russian people can still eat like bread and like potato as well.
Yes, potato. Russia geography.
Yeah.
A moment. The South Russia is great for growing wheat, and the North is bad wheat. That yes, all the Southern Russia is a farmland. We even have a watermelons.
You have watermelons too. Okay. So, but you can't just live on like three things. You can't just eat wheat, potato, and like watermelon every year, just every single day. That's going to be very difficult.
No, like we still can get some fruits from Caucasia.
Yeah, Caucasia.
But something exotic like mangoes and other tropical
yeah
fruits will price even more because you have to register them not as like country producer, and we had for a moment Belarusian seafood. Belarus has no even access to water.
Wait, so how did they even get seafood?
They were imported in Belarus and then imported to Russia as Belarusian.
Okay. But I think they're now like putting sanctions on Belarus as well, right?
No, there will not. There will be no sanctions
on Belarus.
On Belarus. On Belarus, no, of course.
No, but I think they are actually introducing some, because Belarus is going to declare war on Ukraine as well, right?
Oh, as long as we see, no. They just gave military access.
So you will still receive some products which were made in foreign countries, but they will be like twice or thrice the price.
Yes, this is the problem.
Yeah, I mean twice or thrice in a few days is like a lot. And they haven't opened the stock market, have they?
Stock market? Oh, I don't know much about stock markets.
Oh, okay. So no, I like read an article in which like Putin suspended the stock market, so they can't open the stock market because it will show how much the Russian economy has collapsed.
Oh yes, there was a news that stock markets are not opening for several days, just because ruble just fall down.
Yeah, the Russian ruble is going to like fall down a lot. Okay, this question is from my friend Ananda. She said it's a stupid question, but she was curious. Have you heard any explosions or any bombs?
No.
No? Okay. I think you live far away from the Russian Ukrainian border, right?
It's far away from the front.
It's quite
far
far
away.
away. Okay, thank you.
But my Discord Ukrainian friend went to a basement because he heard claps.
Oh, okay. So your Ukrainian friend, like Ukrainians are hiding under their basement and like subways, they're going underground to
because
hide from.
because the Soviet metro was designed to be a shelter even after nuclear war.
Oh, they were preparing for nuclear war, right? Yeah. So the Soviet Union
the Moscow metro have a meter thick metal walls. Oh, doors.
So the USSR is somehow still helping the people of Ukraine.
Yes.
Which is actually very ironic because Holodomor, also a tragedy.
And the Soviet stations are beautiful.
They're beautiful. Oh wow, great. But now that war is going on, I don't think they're beautiful anymore.
No, like the metro is underground, so it won't be much touched.
But how long are like Ukrainians going to live underground, right? The war will come to them eventually. And what happened?
Hard question. As long as the war continues and the bombardments continue.
So it will reach them.
No, like if the Kiev captured, the metro could not fight 2000 days until the Russia declines.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
At some point, the Russian army will go in the shelters.
How long do you think the capital city will hold on for?
Cannot answer.
Can't answer.
Because the war can long several months or a year, but not as Afghanistan.
But not like Afghanistan. So
no.
What do you think will happen at the end?
At the end?
At the end of the war.
At the end of the war? Ceasefire.
Ceasefire?
Or one of the options. Ceasefire. Or peace negotiations. Peace treaty, full.
Peace treaty. So you don't think that
if Ukraine stands for a long, maybe it will be a ceasefire. If the Russian army wins, it will be more like peace treaty on Russian.
But if Ukraine loses, then it will become a Russian. Happens? It will become a Russian puppet.
Not a puppet, but satellite.
A satellite, which is actually worse, I think.
Worse? I don't think that is much worse. Still, the only moment is that Russia don't want NATO under her core lands.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the war,
right? Maybe something like this. Or the reason for war is defending these republics. Or the reason for war is that Russia wants more trade. Like Ukraine produces 12 million tons of wheat, and Russia produced 40 million tons
of wheat.
So Russia wants some more trade.
But now that the trade, now with all these sanctions, that they basically shot themselves in the foot, no?
In the foot?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe the effects are like yet to be seen.
Yes, yet to be seen.
Yeah. What is your prediction on the war? Like how much do you think it will go on for, and how will it end? Your prediction. So no saying that maybe 3 things can happen. Just give me one prediction.
One prediction
Yes.
on how war goes. Russia maybe. This is my prediction. But I'm still not positive on war. Like,
Okay.
Russia started the first war between real nations since World War II.
World War II, yeah.
80 years. 80 years there were no wars between nations in Europe.
I mean,
And not a Yugoslav war because
it was a
civil war.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it has been 80 years since 2 European nations have attacked each other, and it is Russia which has broken the tradition.
Yes.
Which is very, very sad, actually, that happened. So your prediction is Russia, but you are still not very sure.
Not very sure. And not positive because I think it will look like military win, economic defeat.
Ah, yeah. So they will win the war, but the consequences of the war will be like very destructive.
Destructive. For both Ukraine and Russia.
For both Ukraine and Russia. So do you think is Putin okay, so I'm going to use, is Putin crazy or something? Or mad? Like what did he even expect? What did he expect from the war?
Oh. I will not say that he expected something, because the only who must know this is Putin.
Yeah.
But I will not say that he's a crazy. Maybe Russia started this war too late. They realized that Ukraine have good army too late, and it can deal damage or capture.
They can fight back.
Fight back the Donbass. And if Russia waited for long, imagine Ukraine in EU, European Union.
Yeah, and NATO.
Imagine Ukraine in NATO. So they started it now.
Yeah. So they were like, okay, the war is going to happen, but if I wait for longer time, then the entire world will come in. So I rather attack now than in like 2
now
years.
Or never.
Now or never. Yeah, basically.
Yes.
But like, why can't Putin just let Ukraine be a separate country? Why is he so opposed to
separate country?
Yeah.
Maybe the officials were too scared. Too scared
of what?
Ukraine is mostly neutral. Scared of pro-Western movement in Ukraine.
But doesn't Russia itself have very many pro-Western people?
Pro-Western people. Yes, but it's inner politics, and the Ukraine is another country.
Okay, so you think that, so Putin thought that, okay, these people who are inside the country I can control, but like in Ukraine I have to invade so that I can control them.
Yes.
Okay. I still think it was quite unnecessary, because the West was not going to declare war on Russia, even if
or even take Ukraine to you or NATO.
Yes, that was not going to happen, but now it's possible because it is being invaded. So it's
Yes.
So funny.
Both denazification failed, and one of denazification by invasion is the worst you can do for denazification.
No, they basically failed in everything. They said, "Oh, denazification. Oh, we won't let them like join NATO. We won't let them join EU." And now all of these things are going to happen because they attacked them.
Or yes, or as my dad said, the political mission of this war was to start a war.
Yes, that's what it was. Okay, second last question, Carton. It's been a long time now. We've been talking for almost 1 hour. I have spent some time in on the internet, and the amount of people who are Russophobes, which means people who hate Russians, is ever growing. So, and they're like dehumanizing Russian soldiers. They are celebrating the death of innocent Russian people. Like, do you have any comments to make about that?
Nothing, because like they have any justification. Like,
but still, it is still wrong.
Russia is aggressor, but yes, it's still wrong.
It's still wrong. Well, especially that stuff about when like a Ukrainian woman sent a Russian woman a picture of a dead person, and she like started joking about it. That was disgusting. Anyways, it's quite a taboo topic. The like dehumanizing.
But some jokes like on Russian VDV song is great.
Oh yeah, that was that was good. That was good. The one in our server, right? The one with the song, we're like, oh, we're airdropping in the middle of nowhere with no support, and we're dying. We keep on dying. Okay.
And the joke about VDV how many victories changed to VDV how many casualties. And in Russian it sounds similar. Победа, потеря. Victory, casualty.
Actual song was something else, and now it's like, oh, how many people have died? VDV.
ВДВ, сколько потерь из парашютов в белый букет. Ладно. Okay.
Okay. I didn't understand anything you said. I think it was in Russian. Okay, last question, Carton. Is there anything you would personally like to say to the people of Ukraine, to the people of Russia, and to the people of the world?
For the Ukrainians, stay alive. For Russians, I don't know what to say.
What about the world? Anything?
About the world? Да, not to. But for Ukrainian stands.
Okay. Alright, thank you, Carton. Great interview. It's taken some time. Thank you for coming. And thank you for watching, guys. Do tune in to Rotaract Club for more interviews like this. And thank you for watching. Thank you, Carton. Anything you want to say in Russian?
Да, нечего говорить. Which means nothing to say.
Okay, fair enough.
I just said nothing to say.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.